Hello tankers and tankettes, welcome to a replay, one of my own replays, and it's quite a recent acquisition. It's the AMX 1390. Now this tank has been a very long time appearing in my garage. I've mentioned this in previous videos, the 1375 grind took me a very long time because I basically never played it, because I really didn't enjoy playing it that much. It wasn't particularly a fun vehicle. And with the introduction of the new scouts, especially the Walker Bulldog, the 1375 has been left badly in need of a buff. I mean, it kind of always has. Even when the Chinese scouts came along, they definitely outshone the 1375. And now the Walker Bulldog is in the game as well. Yeah, it's in a pretty sorry state. It's not to say you can't have good games with the 1375, and I did have a few, but the 1390 is just a total breath of fresh air after playing that thing. And, oh, hello, there's the enemy 1390. And just the better gun, I mean, the thing handles a bit better. And I've just, like, in the couple of weeks I've had this, I've already accrued 50,000 XP. To get 50,000 XP in the 1375 probably took me like 6 months. So I'm going to be at the Lorraine 40T in absolutely no time at all in comparison. So yeah. Anyway, this particular game, Sircon is in his Conway. He is probably trying to get some mission or other in this particular game. I mean, he's actually, of all the new British TDs, the tier 8 and the tier 9 do seem to be the best of them. And it was just playing a lot of Conway on this particular evening, and this game happened, and I was playing a lot of the 1390 as well because I was rather enjoying it. My initial plan, interrupted by the enemy 1390, was to go forward and spot and try and do what I'm doing now, but yeah, it didn't quite go according to plan. But now I'm trying to spot stuff. I'm trying to hope somebody shoots while I'm spotting, but it didn't really work out, and the one shot I held fire on that T-29. I probably could have gotten 2 or 3 shots into him, but as it was, I fired once and it bounced, so that was good. However, I do finally at last do some damage. I shot into that object 432, and Sircon is unscathed at the moment, but I mean, it's the team. Our team, the people that are pushing up the 1-2 line, they're not really meeting much opposition, so it seems like, and it's rapidly becoming confirmed by the minimap, it seems like the enemy team has gone big in the town. And our VKB is there. We've also got the T30 and the Lorraine 40T, so this is, 3 of our top tier tanks supported by Sircon in the Conway in the middle there. But just by sheer weight of numbers and the enemy E75s working together, they're actually, they are progressing, they are advancing, and it's not like a runaway landslide, but if the VKB and the T30 hadn't been there, the town would have gone down a lot quicker. We would have lost the village area entirely. Now I spot this VK2801, and there's no artillery to protect, there's no arty in this game at all, so although he's not that big of a threat, if he starts getting around behind people, if he starts shooting Sircon in the back of the turret, for example, with that derp gun, that could be nasty. He's also reporting our positions to the enemy team. So, even though it wasn't that big of a priority, taking him out seemed like a good thing to do. So there we go, looking at the minimap, town's collapsing. I mean, I think they put up a pretty good fight. It was just the sheer weight of numbers that actually meant that with the enemy team actually pushing, that was enough to eventually overwhelm our tanks that were in the team. On the 1-2 line, at least, we've got 1 or 2 tank destroyers that were fairly static at the back, and okay, that's fine, they're in tank destroyers. But the rest of them are actually pushing, and we've ended up with a situation, it's kind of like almost like the yin and yang symbol. I always say that, it's yin and yang, not yin and yang, honestly, for goodness sake. Where the enemy team went big in the town, and our team, the biggest concentration ended up being on the 1-2 line, where there were relatively few enemy tanks. So instead of the 2 masses pushing into each other, we ended up sort of driving around the periphery of the map. Now, I was a bit too slow to react to come to Sircon's aid. Like, I get there just when it's too late, take a hit in the process, and there's not much I can directly do at the middle, so I'm withdrawing for now. Now this Ferdy that has stayed behind in B2, he's actually going to turn out to be quite important. At the moment, we're still quite even on numbers, 6-7. And actually, the part of the map that has now become the most important area is the E and F lines, that middle village area, because whoever controls that is then going to be able to get shots down to defend their own cap, basically. We have started trying to cap first, an STA-1 on our team, and it looks like on the enemy team there are a couple of tanks also moving towards the cap. So, although in theory one team might get enough people on the cap circle to actually then get a big advantage, on the other hand, it'll be quite easy to actually defend. So, I'm probably not spotting any of these people, and oh, hello, low health object 432, much bigger priority. Unfortunately, I don't roll high enough to one-shot him, so I have to waste another shell finishing him off, but he's down, that's good. I'm pretty sure it is the 30 that's lighting these people up. I'm not actually close enough, so I'm just trying for shots here, but at this range against both these targets, this is a tough proposition. And I actually hold fire with the last shell, because I might be able to pen the IS-3 frontally, but I'm hoping the E-75 turns enough, but he doesn't. I fire and it bounces, so the 30's done a good job there. And he could have moved up. You know, we had some people that did move up and into the middle, and the tank destroyers that moved up into the middle unfortunately died. But at this point, Sercon pointed out, you've got to spot these tank destroyers, because they can just decap all day long. So I go forward, there's the ISU, and if Sercon, you know, if I'd just been playing on my own, I may not have done this. So full credit to Sercon for, you might call it backseat driving, but sometimes that's actually like another pair of eyes, another person. If they've died and they're giving you advice over TeamSpeak and they're saying, you know, try doing this, try doing that. Well, him pointing out that, you know, go and spot the middle. That it will potentially win us this match. It probably did, and I don't know if I would have had that thought on my own. So yeah, so the ISU went down. The M103 charges for his home cap, and this is giving me a perfect opportunity to just unload this clip, because I can sit here, I can be stationary, I can make sure these shots are actually fully aimed, and I get the kill. Quite nice, and that was a good chunk of damage out here. This gun, it's actually a bit like the ELC in that in order to reliably get your clip to work, you have to sort of be sitting still. Like, you can carousel people, you can unload the clip. If you're close range, obviously it's a lot better. But although the gun's relatively accurate, you do have to be wary of those aim times. So there's the Rheinmetall. I was definitely, like the M103, I was consciously trying to stay in cover, you know, keep my side cover being covered, so that the Rheinmetall wouldn't spot me and shoot me, because obviously I'm an easy one shot for anything at this point. The only shots I have taken, well, I took a hit from a Comet, which was about an average roll, and then the Object 416 hits were actually, I think, both above average rolls. I'm pretty sure that's the 107mm gun that gets 330 average alpha, so that was a little bit unlucky, but it's fine. And I'm basically just trying to keep the Rheinmetall spotted. Now, he's trying to break contact here. He's actually, I was keeping him spotted by proxy through that house, and he actually tries to break contact so he can reposition and then defend his cap again. But what happened was that me being there, you know, we bought enough time. Sercon's suggestion proved to be absolutely the right one, that me being there with the mobility and the view range probably tipped that back in our favour dramatically. And yeah, we won by cap, but that's one of those situations where actually winning by cap was probably the right thing to do. So, the actual scores of that was a first class mastery. I didn't do that much damage. It was 2,500, nearly 2,600, and I got 2,300 spotting. Most of my shots actually hit something in that one. I only had two that didn't bounce. I can't... no, not all of them penned. I was going to say, I can't remember if all of them penned, but no, definitely not all of them, the ones that hit, actually penned. But that was still a good bit of... like, Sercon suggesting that absolutely made a massive difference. I may have spent too much time concentrating on our own cap if he hadn't. I might not have had that thought of, well, we need to control this mid-range. So that was absolutely the right call from him. The people that pushed down the 1-2-3 line that were trying to cap, and some of them died in the process, but enough people were sticking together and putting out the damage that when I was spotting stuff on the middle line there, that they were actually then shooting it. It wasn't just me having to spot and do damage myself. It was a real team effort. And that was, in the end, enough for a victory. And if we hadn't capped, I probably could have killed the Rhymator. But then taking down that E75 between the 3 remaining tanks, the Tiger, the T-44 and myself, it might have been tricky. So yeah, I think capping was the right call in that one. And we probably got, as a team, a bit less XP for doing it. In fact, we definitely got a bit less XP for doing it. But that was still a decent result at the end of the day. And I honestly think this wasn't exactly... I wanted to put this up because although it wasn't like it's a super amazing, entertaining 1390 match, I think it shows quite well what the 1390 can do. And I just wanted to say how much more I am enjoying this compared to the 1375, because the 1375 by comparison is just so lackluster, and it's been lackluster for a long time. The T71 came out, made it look bad. The WZ131 came out, made it look bad. Now the Walker Bulldogs come along and made it look really bad. So the 1375 is by far the worst of the Tier 7 Scouts. Like, there is no competition these days. I think even the Awful Panther is actually better than the 1375, to be honest. But I don't know. The Awful Panther is getting replaced. We'll see what replaces that. Hopefully they're both the 1375, because, man, it really needs it. Anyway, so that was a fun little game. I am looking forward to many more fun little games in the 1390. I think this one is going to be a keeper for my garage. I mean, I already had that suspicion. That's why I've been training up a separate medium crew. Although the fact that there is now a premium French medium coming out means I might actually abandon that low-tier D2 crew entirely. I might actually select one of my female crews as being a French medium crew, and have them for the Lorraine 40T and then eventually the Bat Chat. That's probably a better plan, because that's just going to be a better crew from the very start. So I think that's probably what I will do. But the 1390, yeah, that is staying in my garage. I am liking this little machine an awful lot. So if you enjoyed this replay, you can hit the like button, you can leave any comments below, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.